Hello, everybody. If you're here, say hello. Let us know you're here. And just so we don't scare anybody, with a little bit of luck, we'll have an introduction video with sound as the timer ends. So settle in. The video is about 45 seconds, not very long. As the timer ends, we'll go that, and then we'll jump right into Sketch Club. Okay, welcome everybody. As the timer ends, we're gonna have a short little intro video, about 45 seconds, and then we'll jump in. So make sure your sound is on so you can tell me if you hear the sound, and you got it full screen so you can tell me if you like the video, and we'll catch you guys on the other side. Hello everybody, welcome to Sketch Club for Tuesday night. Hope you've got your pencil and paper, pen and paper, whatever you got, and ready to go. And let's get started. So big hello from Isabella, Eva Marie, Cindy, and me.
Did you just announce my full name onto the internet?
Yeah, in there. Oh, thanks, Karen. All right, so the layout's a little bit different tonight. I videoed it wrong, and so we had to experiment with some different, but the good news is you get to see the image a little bit bigger tonight. Claudia doesn't have sound. Hey, Tom. Does everybody else have sound? Claudia's having a tough time with sound.
I have some.
Okay.
She said solved it.
Excellent, excellent. Hey, Karen. So you did see this the other night, and I always want to expound upon it, and so I wanted to work on it for 10 minutes. And I'll go ahead and give you a spoiler. I didn't get nearly as far as I wanted to, but that's part of it. That's part of it. All right. So Claudia's back with us now. So I love these asymmetrical setups. They're just, I don't know, I have a ton of fun with them and finding the balance in the work through the asymmetry. So hopefully you do too. But what do we have? We have just a dark on a gray. Claudia says hi to Cindy and Izzy.
Hello. Hello, Miss Claudia. Oh,
So you just talking to the pretty ones tonight, Claudia, or what? Huh? You gonna leave us ugly ones out? All right.
Oof.
I see how it is.
Get the oof.
I see how it is. Hello. Susan's here. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, Susan. Hello.
So we did do this one the other night, but I wanted to do it again. It's not uncommon if I find something I like or a theme I want to explore. I do it more than once. I do it more than once. And I'm going to take this out of here for just a minute. So you guys can see. The direction and rhythm of that limb is very important. And also the weight of it, meaning how thick. We got to make sure it's delicate, which can be hard to do sometimes with this clumsy charcoal.
This isn't the right one, right?
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Keep going, you're making good progress. Izzy's actually working on this drawing right now, so on top of it, I think I've intimidated her because she's afraid to mark on it. Make a mark, you can't hurt it.
I'm sure I can.
Time's a ticking, time's a ticking. 10 minutes is not very long. Not very long at all. So with vases, that's expensive fancy vases, we want to pay attention to the neck because that's very characteristic of it. And then like the width of the neck to how wide the widest part of the opening up above it is. And then how wide the widest part below in the belly of it is. And those characteristics and those turns and the quickness or slowness of those curves give the vase the character it has. We'll have to talk about some easy ways to make sure we're symmetrical. Okay? One is just to kind of work side to side. If you hit one side, make sure you hit the other side and it's matching up. And remember, you can cut in and erase, cut out, extend, expand. So you don't have to be perfectly right the first time. Give yourself a couple of times to go over it. So you get warmed up and you're better able to see it. Right? Then from that widest part, how far does it close in before it hits the ground? Right? How long's the top part of the belly to the bottom part of the belly?
Are you saying belly or valley?
Belly. The belly of the vase.
Okay.
So this vase looks like it's fed well. May even have a little beer. It's got a very full belly.
Oy.
It's true. The fullness of that shape is one of the things that describes this vase. So I'm being sensitive with my touch of the stump here and spreading. You can see those chunks of charcoal on there. So I'm being careful about how I spread them around and how hard I touch and trying to get it evenish. Is that okay? Is that permissible? Tom, you've built things. Evenish. Does that pass inspection? Or is he going to red tag that? Both. So again, it's hard. I had a hard time with this because I have visions. I have dreams. I'm up late at night thinking about this little photo here and the designs I can make out of it. And you give me 10 minutes, that's just almost cruel. Cruel. But it keeps you from getting uptight, right? You just got to keep moving, get that air in there. It's so important if you have a dark that it not just sit on raw canvas, but set up the measure of the gray to it. So even though this is going to be a dark silhouette, then that highlight, boom, will definitely be brighter than the background. So it's a little bit different than a light colored, a light valued lit vase, where you definitely see more light shadow. Here it's more of a silhouette. There will be a light shadow, and we can talk about that some other time, but it's much more of a dark silhouette. but then the highlight, again, will be lighter than that background. So that background fits in between the light and the dark of the vase. How's it going, kiddo?
Good. I'm working on the leaves.
Good. Keep going. Keep going. Shakti's here. Hi, Shakti.
Hello. Hi, Shakti.
So we got 2 10-minute poses going on tonight. Poses. If we had a figure or a model with us, that's how we would do it. And so we're doing similar just time settings, but we're shaking it up. We're doing it still life. We're going to be doing some landscape at some point. Tonight we revisited one we've already done, so I can try again to find those rhythms and the relationship between the dark and that background. So look how fun it is to get that dark right there on the kind of the extended part of the belly that's closest to us. And then just above that will be our lightest light, our highlight. So a lot of drama right there, right? Some dynasty, maybe a little Dallas. Izzy's got a very confused look on her face. So it was way before your time.
Okay.
Way before your time. But they were dramas. They were nighttime TV dramas.
Like grandma soap operas.
Exactly.
Yes, just a nighttime soap opera.
Drama, drama, drama. So again, these leaves I'm going to envision as light shadow patterns. The light will be lighter than the background, and the shadow will be darker than the background. Okay, I don't get very far on this one, but on our next one, you'll get to see that a little bit more. Again, how many times have I gone into this vase so far? A few, right? So part of this is building up, and that's the great thing about working with charcoal, is it's definitely slower than like pen, but it acts a lot more like paint in that you can build up the layers. You try to build up some dark right there on the belly.
Like directly on the belly.
Mm-hmm. Be careful,
Without
don't press too
killing
hard, but use one of those.
I don't want to break it.
Just don't press too hard. So just start lightly. And you see if you just kind of keep going over, I don't have to press real hard and I can still get it. How's the sound tonight? Can you guys hear Izzy when she talks tonight? Or when she scratches on the paper? So we're trying the communal mic. We had fans running in here and our microphone made it sound like we were at an airport on the runway, so it wasn't pleasant. So we've shut the fans off, and if we don't suffocate, and you guys can hear us, be good to go.
They're quiet. There's no comments.
They're sketching. They're sketching. Okay, guys, so that's it on that one. That's it on that one.
Shakti said she can hear really well.
Oh, good.
Where did you put it?
Okay, so it's up here in the corner, little. So I kind of cheated on this one. I got the drawing that I've already worked on. I believe this was 5 or 10 minutes. And let's put another 10 minutes into it. And I really want to think about the atmosphere now. Right? So we see how clean everything is. So this time we're going to go in and really work about the measure and try to put this, well, I don't think I get to it in this video, but I actually was just working on this before we came live on the air, and I've really put it into an environment of near and far, and I've got some dark and light in the background behind it to really highlight and focus the viewer through the work. But that takes a little bit of time, and so what I'm doing now is establishing, okay, how close do I want that background to the water jug, Japanese water jug. Let's you start a new one.
No.
Yeah, don't work on that one.
No.
Don't work on that one quite yet.
No.
There you go.
The Child, it's my job to ruin your dreams.
Ruin my dreams. You are my dream. What are you talking about?
You got some weird dreams then.
Well, maybe I do. Maybe I do. Okay, so again, I'm just trying to establish, and rather than putting this on raw paper, is establishing a gray or kind of a different measure to my background. And thinking about where I might want to go in and out of the objects, what's going to show up really bright. So what's going on at the bottom of the jug is I'm saying that now kind of the far part is at the shoulder of this rather than the belly, right? That shoulder. Why is it a shoulder? Well, because it's higher. It's about the shoulder rather than where the belly would be. So what I'm doing right now is just making that more. So I'm taking another layer, going over it again. More, and you see as that makes it more, that comes forward. And then as I grade that off underneath it, that trying to get this jug that to turn literally and go back through air. Almost like you see mountains go through air. No drawing tonight? You're not much in a drawing mood, baby girl.
No, I just got confused.
So right here on the shoulder of this, rather than going straight black down, I'm showing that that's going back into space.
Okay, I think I might work on my one that I did.
That you already did? Okay. It's a good idea. So Izzy found her one that she started. Set it up here. And is going to work on that one. Right. And we do want some nice, hard, solid edges, but we just don't want it all the way around. Right? Do you see how much when we leave things open, how much character or air or vagueness can get into? Right? There's a story to tell. We're not just dropping 3 tons of black on them. Boom. But there's a story about the black. It's coming, it's going, it's building. It's very definitive. It's very vague. The journey of this dark. The journey into the dark. Where there's light, there is dark. Where there is dark, there is light. One cannot exist without the other. Which brings us to our first principle, right? Visibility, a light against a dark. But how light? How dark? That's the question. And then even on the leaves, so that leaves facing towards us, so the nearer edge I'm making a little harder. And then even when I shadow it, I'm going to let that shadow get weaker as it goes away from me. Okay, so what I'm doing as I take more time on this is just trying to be richer in the detail, not by adding more things, but by being more specific about the things I already have, about their journey through space. Rather than just plopping it out there, what part of that leaf is near us? And then what part of it's far? So can we have the near part of the leaf more clear, more definite, some more clarity? And that same leaf, the far part of it is a little vaguer, not as well defined, not quite as dark. And I'm going to do the same thing with the grape right here, right? Going to give a little more definition to this first one. And then the rest of the grapes aren't going to have that same level of definition. And by the way, when I'm doing grapes, I'm usually thinking more about the negative shape I need. Right? So there's cast shadow on the ground, and then the negative shape between the darks of the grapes. But I want to carry that cast shadow all the way through the shadow of the water jug. Are we doing okay? It looks like we've got about 4 minutes left. I know it's probably a little bit harder to see the picture. I know it's a little bit smaller. Again, I just shot the video wrong. But let me know if you prefer this. Do you prefer the drawing to be great big? Or do you prefer the drawing to be a little smaller so that you can see the image better? So what I'm doing now is trying to give some context to this thing. And what is context? Well, if we're always doing near to far, remember, there's before the object, or I call it the action sometimes. So there's before the action, before the object or the action, and the behind the object and behind the action. And another, excuse me, another little spoiler. With that idea of before the action and after the action, I actually split those grapes off from the water jug a little bit so that I can have before the grapes after the grapes, which is also before the water jug, and then the cast shadow of the water jug, then after the water jug. Another spoiler alert, I'm going to put a little bitty leaf back in the background, back behind, that's fallen onto the ground. So we're going to take this one before, action, and after, and as we develop this, first I'm going to develop the individual notes and make those rich, and then I'm going to expand the music. Okay? I don't know if we get to expand the music tonight, but we will talk about that in the future. Yeah, with 2 minutes left. You know, I wish time worked differently because literally if I could sit down for 3 or 4 hours and draw this and talk to you guys, but I don't know that anybody has that attention span. I don't know if my focus would be on or not. So the little detail of the stem is very, very, very important because it's going to create a negative light shape between the grapes and the water jug. Okay, and what do negative shapes do? They lock us in. Right? Even just right now, this whole scene now feels more stable because we've got a nice, solid negative shape that we've locked in. Okay, I can hear your pencils moving. I'm so happy, so happy, so happy. The joy of sketching. Even when we go back, we don't want to be too fussy about it. Don't try to get yourself uptight, right? It's more of a wonder and a question. Wow, what can this do? So building these things up, again, even on my highlights, I'll go back and then watch the highlight of this stem can separate that stem from the water jug while the shadow ties the water stem to the jug. So you see how those work in concert? And then again, just reinforcing the light shadow patterns on my leaves right there. So a little bit of a richer environment. Oh. Look at that self-discipline. Look at that self-discipline. It's self-discipline because I promise you I did not want to do that. I did not want to do that. So before we end, let's just go back. Oops, not going to let me do it as well on here. See how I'm filling this out, going across, massing it in, our parentheses, finding the sides. Remember that neck is very important, the width of it, the shape of it. So I start early thinking about it because we're going to go over this and go over it. The angle of that, how high it goes, the relation, that's all very important stuff right there. Okay, so this is the second time over. Wipe it out, going over a fourth time. Okay. So just getting that putting our objects in an environment. And that's what that gray and that background does for us. And then here, we started here today on the one that we did the other day, and I pushed it forward. See how the side of the vase from the highlight, not the vase, the water jug, is even? I start by taking that out. And by taking it out, I'm vaguing it out, or like breathing air into it. And then I'm reinforcing my dark to make that separation greater. But our transition still needs to be soft between the two of them. Okay, and just a little more detailed, but not everywhere. Put in the environment. Okay, so there's after. Before. After. Okay, so the changing in these notes. How much can we give them by changing the notes? You okay there? Did I scare you?
No, the drawing of me is reflecting in the mirror over there, and I thought someone was staring at me. I got scared.
Well, I guess that's a compliment. Izzy just got scared by a drawing of her that I have in the studio.
They can hear.
So, just making sure. Okay, guys. Well, that's going to about wrap it up for tonight. I'll be back Thursday for sure. I might be live tomorrow painting. We will see. But until then, good night. We'll see you guys.
Good night. Night.
Keep sketching.